All right, everyone, happy Monday. King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon here with you as we get ready to head into this very wet week that's ahead. Now, the colder air that was around, it's still going to feel chilly outside, especially with some of the breezy conditions from time to time and some of that rain and that damp air that's going to be in place. But highs here over the next few days will actually be near, if not above average. And we could be flirting with the 60-degree mark here as we head later on into the week. So we're going to talk about all of that and how that could lead to some spots maybe having some flooding concerns as we head on into the middle and latter part of the week, with more of that rain beginning to head on to the south, because a lot of this atmospheric river that's going to be more overhead will be tracking over parts of British Columbia. You can see that big arch in the clouds that is allowing things across more of Oregon and down into California to stay very clear, and it's down that way too, especially once you get down into California, parts of the desert southwest, that we have that really warm, that hot air mass. As a matter of fact, highs down that way will be in the 90s, possibly even some spots in the 100s. Again, that's well far south, down into California, Arizona, and into parts of Nevada. For us up here, yeah, we're going to keep things very mild, and the rain, again, has been tracking generally off to the north with that atmospheric river. So Bellingham, we're coming in at the top spot here for today, closing in on 1 inch of rain, while areas here closer to about 1/4 of an inch around Port Angeles and Mount Vernon, not looking to be too bad, and you can see some lesser amounts as you head farther to the south. Now, as we head on into Monday night, we're going to start things dry. Then it looks like we are expected to bring up a bit more of those showers as we head on into more of the latter part of the overnight, especially after midnight into the start of Tuesday. Now, that will continue and will be a trend here that we'll see throughout the week, as we will have some rounds of heavy rain kind of coming and going as this atmospheric river kind of pivots farther north and then south again. River levels, those will rise as we head on into the week. We're still expecting right now for only minor flooding for most of these locations, so not a huge concern. But snow levels, though, finally will lower again as we head later on into the week. But for right now, we're going to keep those numbers up to around 7,000 to 8,000 feet, so all above past level. All right, tomorrow, Tuesday, St. Patty's Day, mid-50s. Don't forget to wear that green. We'll see highs in the mid-50s by Wednesday, and if we're looking out for 60s, probably it's going to be on Thursday and Friday, our best chance. Friday, actually, the start of spring as we head on into the end of the week. Another look at that satellite imagery, as you can see all the cloud mass heading farther to the north. That's where the deep moisture is. All the fresh snow that we've gotten here throughout the past week here up around Paradise, looking great right now. You can see that making its way a good way up around the visitor center right there. People still out and enjoying it, but you can definitely tell the parking lot, it is clear now as we've seen that higher snow level helps to melt a lot of that snow away. Bellingham, we have the cloudy skies off into the distance though. A few rays of sunshine trying to peek on out, while we'll see things stay generally cloudy for many of us here as we head on into the evening, even though we have a bit more of that clear glow down this way around Seattle. The farther south you are, the drier things are expected to be for the longer period of time, and maybe even the better chance of seeing some of those sun breaks here as we go over the next few days. But 51 for temperature right here in Seattle as temperatures drop here as we head on into the night into more the low to possibly low 50s to upper 40s. Now, I wanted to show you this because this is going to tell you just how mild it is. Temperatures across the passes now are back above the freezing point. You can definitely tell that right there. We're all sitting at 43, 44, 48 degrees. So we've made our way not only just above freezing, but well above the freezing point too. And so a lot of what's going to be falling up here will be in the form of liquid. Now, for one thing, we are going to see some melting, but initially too, what a lot of this likes to do is once the rain hits and falls into that fresh snowpack, you're going to get some of that to absorb into the snowpack. So it doesn't all just trickle all straight down into the lower elevations through those streams and creeks and eventually down through the river and out to the ocean. It does absorb some of it, so that's good news, but staying longer as far as being above freezing, as well as continuing to see more rain, of course, you are going to shrink that snowpack quite a bit more. So that's something to keep in mind. We're not going to lose every last bit of it, but we are going to lose quite a bit as we head throughout the next week or so, because it is expected to be warmer here for a little while for us. The rest of us here in the lowlands sitting right now in more of the low to mid 50s. Rain tracking generally over Vancouver Island. There's a lot of moisture of that wind. Zooming out, you can see that a lot of its overarch is moving up and over the state of Washington. The extreme eastern part of it, they are getting closer to Spokane, maybe a few light showers, and then heading to Idaho and over into Montana. A lot more of that moisture too up into BC and into Alberta. You see farther south, there's all the clear skies that we have down here, where it is expected to be just downright hot, down into at these locations right here. And really, even above that too and farther north, but it's just not going to be quite as hot as you head farther to the north, but definitely dealing with quite a bit of warmth down there. So if you have plans on traveling farther south into those locations, prepare for the heat. Otherwise, prepare for some of this damp and wet weather. Futurecast showing here throughout the night, 7 p.m. Still not a whole lot of rain out there unless you're in parts of Jefferson or Clallam counties. Then we'll see that pick up across most of our area after midnight. This is at 1 o'clock early into Tuesday morning. Heaviest of rain going to be out towards the Olympic Peninsula. You see those yellows and oranges out there. A lot of it will stay into those parts. And then it starts to kind of fill in a bit once we head on into early Tuesday morning. And so this is when we start to get in on a higher chance of seeing some rain, some decent totals out of this too. I still think rain shadowing will keep us from seeing some of the highest amounts though. So the coast, parts of the Olympic Peninsula, more of Southwest Interior, picking up more rain there. That kind of extends over towards Thurston County. So Olympia, I think your totals will be higher than what those of us around Tacoma, around Seattle and Everett, Puget Sound really get a lot out of this. We'll continue on into Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon. You can see some of that beginning to taper off to a certain degree, but then it starts to enhance yet again, and we just keep that going. It goes farther north, and then it comes right back south again as we head on into Tuesday night into early Wednesday, and we'll keep things fairly wet. And yes, at this point too, we could see some flooding concerns, better chances of that happening the farther north you go, where you are going to have some of that rain sticking around for just a little while longer. So let's talk about some of these rain totals. Here's we head on into about 7 p.m. on Tuesday. We're already looking at about 1/4 to 1/2 an inch around many spots here around Puget Sound, about 1 inch to perhaps 2 out towards the coast and the Olympic Peninsula, and up to about 1 inch here up around parts of Northwest Interior. Now this is Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. We add more to that, and you can see the highest totals out towards the coast and the Olympic Peninsula, where we see anywhere between about 2 to 3, possibly 4 inches of liquid and rain falling. While up around Bellingham, we're closing in at about 2 inches there. Higher terrain and foothills, 2 to 4, possibly getting up to 6 across the extreme higher spots. And then you get down this way around Puget Sound, and we're talking about generally maybe about 1/2 an inch to 1.5 inches here as we head on into early Thursday morning. But it doesn't really do a whole lot to our snowpack as far as increasing it, because those snow levels will be relatively high. Now Baker and Paradise are higher elevated, getting up around 5,500, closing in on perhaps 6,000 feet at some of the top areas there around around areas that are closer to Paradise. But generally, yes, we're talking about just rain. And since that's going to be the case, and since we are going to keep more of this pattern going, do expect for some of that snow melt that we just got to, or some of that snowpack that we just got to melt away. We'll keep the snow going, or the rain going, up across more of Pacific Northwest. You can see that atmospheric river generally directed at us, but definitely directed more so up at British Columbia with the heaviest of the precipitation, not changing a whole lot in terms of our pattern here as we go throughout the work week. So as we look at temperatures tonight, mid to upper 40s, going to be chilly, but definitely not as cool as where we normally be for this time of the year. And highs tomorrow will actually be fairly close to where they should be for this time of the year, in those low to mid 50s. That's not too far off of the normal numbers here as we head on into middle March. Your forecast, though, next few days calling for just more of this rain to be around. Just moral of the story is keep the rain gear nearby. You might be able to put it away for a little while here as we head on into the weekend, as things try to dry out for a little while. And we cool down too, as we see highs back down into the low 50s and lows dropping down into the low 40s and the upper 30s. So be prepared for the rain before you head out the door. Early into tomorrow morning, we're going to see a lot of green on the radar, and hopefully you wear your green for St. Paddy's Day heading into Tuesday. Okay, everyone, have a great Monday night. We'll talk to you soon.